All right, 5 tracks from Pinback. You probably could listen to a lot more. Highly encourage anybody that's listening that doesn't know about Pinback to keep going, to keep digging into. They have a lot of different EPs. There is a long list of kind of extended universe of Pinback, to steal the rateyourmusic.com expression. Rob Crow has a ton of solo stuff. Thingy, I was enjoying listening to the Thingy album, and Heavy Vegetable. There's some really fun stuff. I respect the ability to continually create art that Rob tends to want to do. And I think 3 Mile Pilot is Zach, other stuff that they did. Lots of things to dig into for these humans creating pretty great stuff to listen to that jive with the three of us for sure, clearly, and have influenced kind of the DNA of our musical brain in a really fun way to make us pay attention and to drop those Easter eggs. And on this podcast, for us to be able to try to be uncovering a couple of those is what makes this fun to share and talk about it. Brett?
Taken by these guys, I think especially Zach and his bass guitar strumming. I really appreciate seeing that KEXP video and getting a sense about how that sound is made. That was a really satisfying part of this process on this episode. Also enjoyed going through their catalog and trying to whittle down. When I think of Pinback, there's definitely like sonic phrases that are just there that live rent free in my brain. And I love having them in there. I love having sort of a notion of what Pinback sounds like and being able to think about and reference it when I hear it out in the world. I am still shocked that they aren't talked about even today as much as I like them and as much as we like them. And the fans that I've read about like them, like it's just like an anomaly that this band didn't get, wasn't all over the place. And maybe that was by choice. I don't know, but it was fun to get into. I always enjoy the school of musical appreciation with you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. The music appreciation is in full effect in this episode. I think this band is really fun. And, one of the things that stands out to me is I remember sometimes in the past I would share a best of type of playlist with people. And I remember even some of my audiophile friends would say, like, what are these bands? These aren't even real bands. I remember Homie saying that one time. And I think Pinback was one of these bands that you knew had broad appeal, even though lots of people weren't talking about them. They were kind of this really accessible sounding band, but not very well known. So I think I remember passing it on to Homie and saying, oh yeah, check this out. And I think he came back saying, oh yeah, this is really good. So I enjoyed going back and revisiting this. It's a fun way to do it. And I'm not sure what this is, but there were several times when I was listening to the band where I wanted to play air guitar or air drums. I don't do that all that often. Maybe I should do that more. There's just a good feeling this band brings. Like when I'm driving my car, I want to tap the steering wheel. I want to do stuff with my body when I listen. And I like that. I think it's the kind of percussive and driving nature of it. That's infinitely interesting to me. So this band has that in spades. On the kind of meta on the headliners set, I really like the episodes with fewer songs. It's just a preference. I feel like I thought more about these songs, just a numbers game. We do an episode and it's 5 songs. It's a lot different than when we do an episode with 15 songs. So I enjoyed that. I don't think that we needed 15 songs to talk about Pinback. And I'm not criticizing any other choices when we do 15 songs. I'm just saying I liked the fewer songs that we did today. And then I did have a reflection as I was thinking about the different kinds of themes that we do. I think when we are doing a theme-based episode, I think those are really satisfying and fulfilling. And I was just thinking about, well, why is that? And I think it's because they reach into a sometimes hard to reach emotional space, because those songs are already connected deeply to some moment in time. Like those synapses have fired enough times in my brain to where when I think about energy or beginnings or some of the themes that we've talked about, I can sort of instantly go both directions. I can go from a theme to a song, and then a lot of times when I hear a song, it takes me to a feeling. And that I think is really satisfying and fulfilling. It's kind of transformative because it takes you from where you are into another place and time. I think what I find about the headliners episodes, and the best of is like this as well, that we just did in episode 28. It's where I feel like I'm being challenged to go find something new. Those themes, I think, are pulling out things in large case that have already happened. This is where it's kind of challenged to go find something new. It's a little bit like visiting a foreign country. It's like, maybe it's your first time visit, or for me with Pinback, it's like a country I've visited many times, but there's still areas to explore. And so even though I didn't pick a song from the 2012 album, I enjoyed being directed towards it, and I found it really accessible. So, I'm still a visitor there. I'm still encouraged to explore and to explore more than I've made time for so far. So I really like that about the headliners and the best of episode. It's like encouraging you to go find new things, to go explore. So it's been really exploratory. And I also really like that. I just find that it's a completely different vibe that I have when we're working on these kind of episodes than when we're working on a theme. And I thought that was worth sharing with you because it's something that just came to me. Took me 29 tries to find that little insight.
You're mentioning the transitional nature of where we are at on the podcast too, of coming back to life and coming up with new ideas and driving what we like to do, and maybe how we try different stuff. I agree. I love focusing in a little bit of an area, like Soda Straw focused here. Almost just as much as I love when we have a theme that's so broad that I'm like, man, I could go anywhere. Let me research that. Let me try this. There's satisfaction in each one of those that I'm endlessly happy that we're back doing for ourselves and for anybody that cares when they listen. With that in mind, we'll put the Pinback episode to bed and maybe mention what we're thinking about for a next theme, which unfortunately, Sean, goes against your very comment just now about how you like focusing on one band. We're not going to do that next, are we? So over to you, to your suggestion for our episode 30 theme that you had suggested.
That's right. Well, I think the two different episode approaches, they're both great. I think they kind of land on you in different ways. So yeah, I'm not opposed to this one at all. But our idea for the next episode is to follow the Chinese New Year, and 2025 is the year of the snake, which is probably as expansive of a theme as we've had. Tons of wiggle room here. There are nice. I mean, there's typically like personality characteristics that are associated with people that are born in the year of the snake. So there are things to go in that direction, as well as the animal itself. There's a lot that's here, and it's a timely thing. I think sometimes when we're thinking about our themes, we're thinking about, what's happening for us, what's happening in the world, what's happening in this year. And that's one of the things that's happening. So that's where we're going next, is the year of the snake. And we're going to have some fun putting this together.
Brett, how do you feel about that?
I immediately, the wiggle made me think of a song right away. And then I thought about the qualities that I know about the year of the snake and people that are born in the year of the snake. And then also like the motif of snake, not motif, but we grew up Catholic. We live in Western civilization where primarily we're dominated by the Bible, and the biblical concepts around snakes has a certain flavor to what snake is. And so I think that those sorts of things are popping about. I'm very curious to get into the music and what my brain will do with that. I've already got a couple of bands in my mind, so then it's just a matter of whittling it down.
Yeah. Excited. Also, probably scary you've had so far for me. I'm not a friend of snakes, but maybe I'll learn to be after this episode. So the Stone Soup for Contemporary Future Descendants bingo card of how we mentioned Pinback mostly on other episodes. You can at least put a big stamp for Pinback on this one for finally getting to it, but also probably will reference it more in the future. But for that Pinback episode, it was super fun. I'm looking forward to the next one as well for Year of the Snake, and I already got some ideas spinning in my brain as well. So with that, I hope people enjoyed the episode. You can check it out on Apple Podcasts now. You can check it out on YouTube. You can keep checking it out on Spotify and link to the playlist. Please go check out the Pinback bands, the 3 Mile Pilots, the Thingy, the new band from Rob Crow, Plosives, all kinds of things to enter into the Pinback universe. So with that, we appreciate you listening, and we're going to sign off for now. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.